Hey there, I'm gonna show you a video here. It's gonna be a lot longer than I intended it to be. How to replace these recessed light fixtures with flush mount light fixtures. There's one piece missing, which is gonna be the little flange that helps cover up the nasty drywall on here. But wouldn't be a terrible idea just to put this video, speed it up by 1.5 or 2 times. Make it a little less painful to watch. Okay, buckle in. Hey there, I apologize for the flickering you're gonna see. I've got LED floodlights kind of illuminating this for me because I've got the power turned off. I'm gonna show you all how to replace some of these recessed lights up here with thin, fairly good ceiling. They call them plenum lights. See if I can get it. Where's the camera? There's the camera, somewhere in there. And these little super thin wafer recessed lights. These will put out quite a bit more light into the room than the bulb lights. You can't even tell there's a bulb in that probably from your angle because that bulb is quite recessed in the hole. Well, actually, funny enough, there's not a bulb in there. There was a minute ago. Anyway, there's your bulb. Fairly recessed. That light's not going to travel very far in directions. It's going to come down mostly. But these babies here will seal that. Another part of the problem with these is they do let quite a bit of heat in if you're in an attic space, or quite a bit of cool in either direction. So that this will help to insulate the room a little bit when we get these installed. Hopefully this plugs in as nicely as the rest of them in the house have. Sometimes these things can be a bit of a bear to get pulled out of here because they're nailed to wood up there. This one might actually not be too bad. Usually you have to take the bulb out and then pull this little piece down, and then it comes unclipped. I haven't actually pulled one of these out before that's quite this style. Kind of like that. Anyway, out with the old, in with the new. Couple little screws here securing this. I've got a 35-degree bit on this drill to help me get in here. Hope I can find that screw before my wife finds it. There we go. Got no idea where that screw is. Just wait for a loud scream. Okay, get this baby out of here and see what we're working with. Power is off. Never a bad idea to hire an electrician to do this, but I'm going to show you, if I can, how easy these are to replace. There's an electrical box up here that you probably can't see from where you are. Let's see here. So these, I don't want to call them wire nuts, but wire connectors, are just push connectors. You push the wires up in there, and as you can see, right here is a copper ground wire that used to be right next to those two and has pulled out. So I do not like these. I use either wire nuts that twist on or clip connectors that are similar to what you see up there, but hold much more securely. I don't like passive systems like that where you just push a wire in and forget about it. I like these little, they're a Wago style, but these are not Wago. Sorry about that camera there. Wago fittings. So these are not Wago, but you pull these little arms back, stick your wires in there, close them down, and they secure your wire. I've started using these in place of wire nuts. There are a lot of times where you just can't get a big enough wire nut to really catch the wires securely. If you've got 6 or 7 wires, there's a good chance one of those may be a little bit loose when you're done with your wire nuts. So I'm going to try these babies on up here. Not going to use the ones that came in the kit. even though they'd probably work. I'm gonna be putting in, it's an Amico brand, A-M-I-C-O, Amico. Not sure if that's how you pronounce it. Anyway, I've put these all through the rest of the house. I haven't yet had one go out, but this is a little bit different than what I was expecting to find up here. Show you how easy it is to get these wires off. A little bit of effort, and these little fittings just fall right off. You twist them back and forth, the wires will come right out of them. So they're not very secure. Are those? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. There's no power up there that I'm aware of. Okay, but we're gonna find out here in a minute. By the time I unplug all these wires and have them dangling and touching each other. Okay, here we go. There's power in. Huh. Okay, I'm sorry y'all can't see much of this. Not a whole lot to see. I am going to put one of these little connectors back over the live wire up there. I'm going to try to. Here we go. Okay. At least get the hot wire covered, which is not hot, but the power. Okay, let's get all the rest of these off. What I've found for removing these, there is, if you've got a screwdriver and you can get to it, there's a little slot to remove the, stick in there and remove the wires. Otherwise, just spin these things and the wires will fall right out. Give you an idea how secure those are. Okay, now I'm gonna have to move my lights around a little and see what I'm working with. Boy, that's probably not good on the camera. Okay, there's my power. We are gonna bypass all of this, so I don't really need any of that. If I can tear that out of there. Yeah. What I might actually do is just shove it up into the ceiling and get it out of my way and just leave it. Since it's not gonna be connected to anything. Although I would like to get those wires out. No? Okay, there we go. Wires are out of the way. Now I can feel pretty comfortable at just shoving that up there out of the way. Never gonna need that again, hopefully. Boy, I hate fiberglass insulation. And sticking my hands places I can't see. Okay, so we got power coming into this light and power going out. We've got one wire for the light, one wire for the power in, and one wire for the power out for each one of the lines. So I've got these little connectors made for connecting 3 wires. Get my lights back together in here. Okay. Not sure if y'all can see any of what I'm doing. I'm gonna move these lights around a little bit. That helps you a little bit. Okay. Let's see here. I think I might pause you all for a minute until I can figure out how to get these wires out of their housing up there. Okay, I didn't really change a whole lot since I cut the video, but getting these wires, which are hopefully dead at this point. Okay, well, enough of that. The wires are dead. Always, always kill the power. Check it with a voltmeter or something, but make sure you've got the power killed before you start working on anything electrical. The only thing that didn't come with this kit, other than the better wire connectors, are these little wire clamps on the side here. So hopefully I've got enough wire up here to make this work. Boy, this electrician, he wasn't very generous with his wires. There is not a whole lot of slack to work with. That wire has a little bit. This one over here sure doesn't. Nope. Hard to stretch a copper wire. That is for sure. I'm gonna run the long one first. Get those inside that wire clamp. And just reduce the risk of any kind of a abrasion in the future. Want to make sure your wires are protected. Protected like your passwords on your phones. And that brings us to today's sponsor. I don't actually have a sponsor, so I guess we'll skip that part for now. Okay, boy, sure be nice if that guy was even the slightest bit generous with his wires. So we're not going to get them as far in as I'd like to. Okay, once your wires are through that clamp, bet that messed up the lighting on the camera. Get it tightened down real good. I'm just trying to make sure they don't fall out. Okay, all right, there's that. Walmart camera light bag. Okay, let's see here. Next, we're gonna start connecting the wires. So they make, there's a brand called Wago. I think that's the main brand that sells these. These are not Wago. I don't know what they are. They are some kind of online special. I am not an electrician, so don't assume that I know what I'm doing here. I was always taught to start with the ground wire first, but I've also been told to start with the hot wire first. So I am not entirely sure what is proper. I guess I could pause this video and look it up, but I'm not going to. So I am going to connect all of my copper wires first. Put the wire in all the way, crimp it, give it a good little tug, make sure it is all the way in. Okay, one more. Short wire, not a lot to work with there. Okay, those are good. Just get those out of the way. And then I do my neutrals next. One thing I realized I had the camera paused is that the flange on these old ones was quite a bit larger than the flange on the new one. So I think I'm going to come back and I'm going to trim these old flanges off, or buy one off the internet somewhere. Trim the old flanges and let those help cover up some of these rough edges that are going to be exposed when I'm done here. So I'll have to come back later and finish that. I'm at least going to show you how to get one of these installed. Ideally, if you're putting these in new as a remodel, you'll have the proper size hole drill the hole, put the light in, and it'll all be done. Okay, first wire. Do these one wire at a time so you don't get them at varying depths in their clamp. Don't try to put all three wires in and snap them all at once. Just get one at a time and make sure they're all good. Make sure they are fully seated in there as far as they will go. See, that one did not catch the first time. I may need to strip that wire a little bit more. Oh, there we go. Okay, that one's in. Now let's get our hot wires. Okay. It didn't hold very well. Ooh, those things have quite a snap to them when they get you. That feels better. Make sure those wires are all the way in as far as they're supposed to go. And always give them a good tug just to make sure. Okay. This video is getting a lot longer than I had intended it. These little lights have a electric box. You just close it back on the wires and get it up out of the way. And the rest of it's pretty straightforward. You just connect the wires. Make sure you get the 3 pins lined up in the right order. Pretty hard to do it incorrectly, but you certainly can. There we go. These particular lights are intended for wet environments, and these are the color change lights. So you've got a little selector switch on this box here on the back to change the color. I like to set mine on 4,000 or 5,000. Looks like this one goes from 2,700 up to 5,000. So this is a five color change light. I'm gonna go ahead and just set it to 5,000. I'm pretty confident that's all gonna work all right. But you can see now what my problem is. There's a lot of nasty drywall around that, so I'm gonna have to get some kind of a little cover. Let's see what we get here. There's a fan. Don't care about that. There we go. That doesn't look good on the camera, but that's how you do it. That is a lot brighter than the other lights that were up here. So, if this was at all helpful, please share.